are raw foods from your storeroom, so it should be definitely suit a human palate. That's really not what was holding me back. It's really good, I promise. I'm actually quite pleased with how this meal turned out, and I would love for you to try it and give me your feedback. I don't know. Look, I'll make it easy for you. You don't even have to do it with your hand. Just say yeah. Marara uses her spoon, the one she's been eating with up until now, to scoop up some food from my bowl. It's fine, really. Like I said before, I'm not hungry. No, I just said. Sighing internally, I finally give in. The moment I do, Marari happily places her spoon in my mouth, at which point I close my lips and trap the spoon's contents. I chew the soft, warm mush, which doesn't really need to be chewed at all, and then swallow. How is it? Did you like it? With her tail wagging and ears pricked up in anticipation, Marari carefully observes my expression. It's better than my cooking. Yeah, it's good. It's definitely much better than anything I know how to make. Really? You don't say. It's kind of vexing to think that someone I initially thought of as a savage can cook human cuisine better than I can. Oh well, when you live in a place like this, it's the nutrition and warmth that matters, not the taste. Ignorant human, did you actually doubt the princess's skills? Cooking is just one of the main skills expected to be drilled into the future mate of my next pack leader. Marara turns away as Fuyu casually reveals her situation. Whoa, hold on a sec. Marari, you were taught to cook so that you could please your future mate? That's right, it's Marara's responsibility to... Marari hurriedly covers Fuyu's mouth before she can say anything else. What matter of not so speaking, Fuyu? I cook because I enjoy watching others eat my cooking, that's all. If I planned on mating with the next alpha male, I wouldn't have ran away in the first place. Marari's words intrigue me, but I decide not to pry. Whatever has happened to these two girls until this point is none of my business, and if Marari would rather run away from home than find a mate, that is clearly up to her. I'm just a kind stranger who took pity on a near-deaf young girl. What she does with her life, what was the life I saved, is not for me to decide. Can we maybe find them better clothes? Like clothes that aren't like chic summer wear? Seriously? Don't you think you should at least wait for the food to set up first? So fool. Topsy, you should eat more too. I already ate plenty, thank you. Though it was nothing compared to what the two of you ate. Shortly after the three of us finished eating, Marari and Fuyu both let out big yawns and curled up next to one another on the couch. Sharing their body warmth, as I imagined they would often do out in the snow, the two girls snuggle up close to one another with looks of contentment on their faces. Sheesh, I want to tell them off for going to sleep right after eating, but, well, when you look at them both like this... Without realizing it, I began to smile. Just yesterday, I found Marari on the floor, cold and shivering as she narrowly avoided death. And today, Fuyu suddenly barged into my cabin. She's been running her mouth all day. Haven't really enjoyed a moment of silence since she arrived. But for now, if only temporarily, the two girls seem to be at peace. Sleeping soundly, comforted by the presence of their partner, the two wolf girls look like a pair of young pups clinging to one another in an unfamiliar environment. Previously afraid for the other's safety, they have now found one another once more and can finally be at ease. Suppose I can't let Fuyu stay tonight as well. I'd feel bad trying to separate the two of them now. Besides, I've been alone out here for a long time now. A day or two in the company of these girls shouldn't kill me. I enter my bedroom for a moment and open the closet. A few seconds later, I return with a blanket in my arms, which I use to cover the girls. Even if you leave the cabin tomorrow, for tonight you two are my guests, so sleep well. Resisting the urge to ruffle the girls' hair as they sleep, I return to the kitchen with our bowls and utensils to clean up. For now, I'll let the girls rest, and tomorrow we'll see what awaits us. I I wake up bright and early as the morning light lights up my room. In spite of the hellish blizzard from 2 days ago, it seems that the weather has begun to clear up, and the freezing cold is becoming more tolerable by the day. At this rate, I'll soon be able to go outside without even overdressing. Filled with optimistic thoughts, I leave my bedroom and return to the main living room area. The moment I enter the room, a strong odor reaches my nose, and I instinctively turn to look towards the kitchen. Come on, isn't it done yet? No matter how many times you ask, breakfast isn't going to be ready any quicker. If you're looking for something to do, why don't you go wake up Topsy? I'd rather smother him in his sleep. Just you try it, little girl, see what happens. Funya. Fuyu jumps back in surprise as she suddenly hears my voice directly behind her. Oh, Topsy, you're awake. You're just in time. Breakfast will be ready shortly. Please take a seat. I'll bring the food once it's ready. Oh, okay. I'll leave it to you then. Having no intention of stopping Mirari while she's cooking, I do what she suggests and sits down on the couch. Grrr. Miserable human prey on the princess's kind nature. Oh, shut up. It's not like I asked you to cook for me breakfast or anything. Besides, you seem pretty eager to take advantage of her kindness yourself. Just a second ago, you're sitting on the floor with your tail wagging like a dog waiting for its master to feed it. Oh, a dog? You're comparing me to a dog? Well, yeah, that is what you look like. Besides, dogs and wolves are pretty much the same anyway, right? No. Don't insult me, human. Wolves are nothing like dogs. I smirked to myself as I enjoyed Fuyu's reaction. Oh, how so? I thought dogs and wolves were descendants of the same ancestor. That doesn't mean we're the same. You wouldn't mix up a human with a monkey, would you? Dogs are pitiful, self-serving creatures who only know how to bow down before human beings. Wolves, on the other hand, are proud. My accent's changed. Are proud hunters who don't need any help of any other race to survive. Maybe I should try giving you a bit more of an elegant southern voice. So a proud and independent creature like a wolf, it would never do something like, I don't know, sleep in a human's cabin and eat their food. Fuyu's face contorts in displeasure. Her claims of independence hold little weight at the moment, given our current predicament. That's different. Is it? Grrr. Well, what about you? Me? Yeah. What are you even doing out here? This is no place for a human being to live. What, were you exiled or something? Is this your punishment? Were you caught doing something heinous and banished from society forever? Yeah, that must be it. You did something unforgivable and you were sent out here to live out the rest of your days in solitude. How could I miss this before? Now I feel in danger just being in the same room as you. And a look of panic spreads across Fuyu's face as she slowly backs away from me. Would you please stop smearing my good name? I moved out here on my own free will because I don't get along well with other people, that's it. Hearing my explanation, Fuyu starts backing away and begins to look at me with eyes filled with curiosity. You don't like other humans? That's the short version, yeah. Then what about us? You and Mirari? Fuyu nods. You let us both into your home. You forced your way into my home. And you haven't tried to kick us out on anything. It's having us here causing you distress. Not particularly. I almost reply yes without thinking, but before I can do so, Fuyu's puppy dog eyes kick in once more. Looking at her pitiful, pleading eyes, I can't bring myself to call out her nuisance. I don't know. It's a bit weird to have you two here, but it's not the same as feeling I get when I'm around other people. Honestly, I'm having a hard time thinking of Fuyu as a person. She really does seem like a mistress puppy that rebellious young woman. Maybe it's because I like animals, but I guess you two aren't so bad. Just my impression of you so far, though. Even in a few days, I might think quite differently. Is that so? Fuyu analyzes my answer carefully. She doesn't appear to be particularly invested in my answer, nor does it bring her any joy. Her question was one posed out of curiosity with no ulterior motive. Well, I wouldn't worry about you changing your mind. After all, the princess and I won't be staying long enough for you to get sick of our company. No matter how warm it is here, we must return to our pack as soon as possible. That works for me. A couple of nights is more than enough. I've done my good deed for the year, and now I just want to be left alone. I nod in agreement with Fuyu's statement. I understand. I won't try to stop you from returning to your pack. As soon as the two of you are ready to leave, I'll see you off. Okay, princess, it's time to go. Fuyu, what are you talking about? Please don't play dumb, princess. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You've had your fun, now it's time for us to return to our pack. Already? But we only just... That's my point. We must leave now before we grow accustomed to this lifestyle. Relying on humans is no good, princess. We must return to our own kind. Once the three of us have finished eating breakfast, Fuyu wastes no time before making good on our promise. A satisfied smile, indicative of a full belly, disappears from her face, replaced by a serious expression and a tone of voice to match. Do we have to go back no matter what? I quite like it here and... Princess. Fuyu grabs Marari by the shoulder. Do not be selfish. You have troubled us human enough as it is, not to mention the worry you have no doubt caused our kids. It is time for us to return. But Marari turns away from Fuyu and casts me a sidelong glance. Is it okay if I stay a while longer, isn't it, Topsy? Princess, I won't cause any trouble or do anything you tell me not to. I'll cook and clean, I'll help out as much as I can. So, please. Princess. I avert my gaze as Marari begins to plead. No matter the reason for her desperation, I can't afford to let her stay. My supplies were really only enough to last me through the winter, and there's also the ethical question of my interfering in half-human affairs. Plus, Fuyu said herself, Marari's family and friends are waiting for her. Her place was them, not here with me. Marari. Please, Topsy, just let me. Place my index finger on Marari's soft lips. Okay. Marari, don't you think you've worried your family enough as it is? You belong with the rest of your pack. I understand. Marari gives up without a fight as I quickly shut her down. I don't know how I keep reading words that aren't there. Marari is downcast as she slowly trudges towards the door, not looking back even once. Thank you for not making this difficult, Topsy. Marari may act defiant at times, but she's a reasonable person. Hearing you tell her to go home should be enough. Yeah, no problem. Feeling bad about turning Marari down, I find it hard to look Fuyu in the eye. As my eye wanders around the cabin, I suddenly realize something. Oh, hold on a second. Take a pair of coats off the coat rack and present them to Fuyu. Here, take these. It's cold out there, you'll need to stay warm. In response to my offer, Fuyu shakes her head. I appreciate your kindness, but I have to decline. Our tolerance for the cold is significantly greater than that of humans. In anything less than a blizzard, garments such as those will only get in our way. Oh, I see. Take a look at the outfits Marari and Fuyu are wearing. Indeed, no human would dare to dress so sparkly out there. If those two are comfortable while wearing so little, they must indeed have a far greater tolerance for the cold than I do. In that case, I guess this is goodbye. Maybe I'll see you two again someday? Don't count on it. We live on the other side of this mountain. Were it not for a snowstorm, we would have never met to begin with. This shall be our final farewell. Comically asserting so, Fuyu turns her back on me and heads towards the door. As she does so, however... Alright, no longer seems ready to leave. Marari's eyes shift back and forth. It seems like she wants to say something to me, but can't quite bring herself to speak. Come along, princess. Let's not delay our departure any further. At Fuyu's command, Marari lowers her head and walks along obediently. Marari slowly unlocks the door, then regretfully sets foot outside, gently pushed along by her dear friend. Moments later, the door slams shut, and at last, I'm all alone once more. But not for much longer, because we still have like 2 hours left. For the next hour or so, I find myself wandering around the cabin aimlessly. Having already slept and eaten, there's honestly very little remaining that I need to do. Having enough supplies to last for a while yet, it's too cold outside to think about working, and my hobbies are all the types that be enjoyed while resting idly. Put simply, I'm bored. Solitude may be its own reward, but the cost at which it comes is clear. There's nothing to do out here during the cold months, and even once things warm up, The choices can't compare to that available in the city. At least with those two wolf girls around, things were a bit more lively. Other people are a nuisance, but a pet could be just what I need. They're people, but sure, That being said, what kind of pet would be suitable out here in the middle of nowhere like this? Giving myself something to think about, I decided to turn on the radio in the kitchen. After adjusting the frequency and waiting for a while, I'm able to receive the weather forecast, which paints a rather placid picture. Maybe I should go out and get some water while it's still mild outside. The weather can change out here at the drop of a hat, so if it never hurts to have a surplus. I grab my coat and head for the door, resolving myself to be slightly more active than usual. Before this pleasant weather changes for the worse, I'm going to sure up my supplies as a prudent survivor should. Brr, who the hell thought it would be a good idea to fetch water? Everything has turned to sludge out there. The entire landscape has changed since before the snowstorm. Hurriedly closed the door behind me as I returned from gathering water. Unfortunately, my trip proves fairly fruitless as the spring from which I usually gather drinking water has been temporarily blocked off. The snowstorm has drifted the terrain. Well, just get snow, jackass. The snowstorm has shifted the terrain, making my usual routes either inaccessible or far more dangerous than usual. Screw it, I'll just stay inside after all. Maybe boring to stay indoors all day, but at least it's safe. Still shivering slightly, I regretfully remove my coat and flop down on the couch. Covering myself with a blanket, the same one I used to cover up the two sleeping wolf girls yesterday, settle myself in and try to make myself comfortable. Let's see now, where do I put the remote? I see that, which I'm assuming is either a DVD player or a cable box, but no TV. If it isn't within arm's reach, I'm not getting it up to look for it. I look around in the immediate vicinity of the couch. Fortunately, the remote is nowhere to be seen. It's probably still in the kitchen, from where I last watched TV while cooking. I guess I'll just sit here then. What a fun person I am. Sit in silence and there's a faint sound. Something a voice, but it's too quiet for me to understand what they're saying. Oh great, now I'm hearing things. Maybe I've lived alone out here for too long after all. I try to ignore the voice by focusing my mind elsewhere. However, the voice doesn't disappear. It seems to cut in and out, with ample static dropping up in between words. What the heck could that? Alright, the radio. I unintentionally rise to my feet and turn towards the kitchen where I left the radio turned on. Seeing as how it's battery powered, I figured I'd better turn it off if I'm not using it. Before I could do so, however, I hear something ominous from the other side of the radio. Bad weather incoming. Avalanche last night. Paths have changed. Advising caution. Phew, it was worse than I thought, huh? No, I'm definitely not going outside. Turn the radio off and grab the TV remote, which is sitting on the kitchen counter. I then return to the living room and sit down on the couch, remote in hand. Okay, now, where were we? Oh yes, let's find something to watch, shall we? Now, what did I start watching last time? Before I turn on the television, I go to wrap myself in the blanket I had used to cover myself just a moment ago. The second I go to do so, however, I feel a chill run down my spine. Oh shit, the girls. They wouldn't know about the avalanche last night or the bad weather that's about to hit. If they got caught up in that and they find that their path back home has been blocked off, those poor girls might be... Better go find them. Oh hell, how can I sit back and relax knowing that the girls might be in danger? I can watch TV anytime. For now, I got a couple of wolf girls to track down. You say you drive a truck. That's not a truck. That is a...